What is up, guys? Choco Bros Entertainment here. Today, it's just me, it's Alex, and I'm coming at you with a Nerf SMG tutorial and attachment guide. This is going to be a breakdown of what you should be looking for when you're making your Nerf SMGs, as well as what kind of attachments you should be using. I won't recommend specific ones. I'll show examples of specific ones, but really anything in the same style as the attachments I recommend is going to be A-okay. So, first, the most important attachment to any Nerf blaster, because it won't function without one, a magazine. Now, for a gun like this, you're going to want size in your magazine, because this, as an SMG build, you're going to want as many rounds as you can hold because you're going to be firing pretty wildly, and Nerf darts don't really weigh that much. So the gun comes with this magazine right here. It is 6 rounds. It's pretty small. However, there is the added benefit of it being pretty easy to handle because of this blue part right here. It is what the blaster comes with. It matches the color pretty nicely. But in the terms of what we're talking about, this magazine right here is garbage. You do not want to be using this magazine at all because the capacity is so limiting. 6 rounds you're going to use up in about 2 seconds, and then and if you miss all 6 of those rounds, you're going to lose the battle. Size is what you're going for when you're deciding what you want in an SMG. So, what I used to use was this 10-round mag right here, already a huge improvement, plus 4-round size. And it's also pretty easy to use because you can grab it by the curve of the banana part and slide it in there. It's not too bulky. It doesn't take up a ton of room. However, there are better alternatives to a 10-round mag. However, a lot of guns do come with 10-round mags, so if it's all you got, it's perfectly fine. But what I personally use right now, the Nerf police might be on me for this, since it's not on brand, but I use the Pro Force 12-round magazine. Now, Nerf does make on-brand magazines like this one. This is just what I have on hand at the moment. So this takes up, honestly, what feels like less room since it goes straight down instead of curves. And the spring is more effective because it's in a straight box mag. And it has double the capacity of this little dinky mag right here. So you don't want to be using something like this. You want to be using something like this. Now, next, the second most important attachment for a Nerf magazine, or for a Nerf blaster, and probably if you're a Call of Duty player, what you look for most in a gun, the optic. For a Nerf SMG, you're not going to be wanting to use a huge scope. The Elite 2.0 comes with this scope right here. Now, this scope's not bad, and for an AR, I would recommend it, but for an SMG, not very good. You're going to want to use something like this right here. I reviewed it in my sniper scopes video because it honestly makes a good sniper scope too. It's got a laser on it. This is a really good optic, especially for close range weapons like an SMG. I like to stick mine on the front right here. It's super easy to use, super lightweight, and very effective. It's got a lovely holographic sight. If you're a COD player, I'm sure that looks familiar to you. And, of course, it has that laser capacity to it, which just makes it super fun and super useful. Now, this gun on its own would make a good SMG. It'd be perfectly functional, it'd be lightweight, it'd be mobile, but there are still some things that I would recommend you add, starting with a stock. Now, a stock like this one is very useful because it's pretty hollow, it's lightweight, and it fits the shoulder pretty nicely for aiming, for taking more careful, precise shots if the situation calls for it. However, it does watch out for geometry like this right here. This is to hold a grenade, and that's not what we want. You really don't want to put any features on your blaster that you're not going to use because that's just going to add more weight. What I like to use is this right here. This is a modified stock because there used to be a little orange like skeletal structure right here. You can see the holes where it attached, and I took that part out. But even if you didn't, it would still be a very lightweight stock, very fun, very easy to use, and slides on perfectly to the end right there. So with that out of the way, this very lightweight stock. It's very useful, and when you're not using it, you really don't even notice it's there. It's still, your arm's still very mobile. So any light stock like this, any small one, not a huge one, just a bare bones, as light as you can get it stock, just in case you're going to shoulder the weapon. All right, now with that out of the way, we're going to move on to the barrel. Now, the muzzle of the weapon in itself is fine. It's got some spiraling on the inside. It's a foam dart. This would work just fine. But the longer you make the barrel, the more spiraling you're going to have and the more accurate the dart's going to be. But don't go overkill. A barrel like this, the sniper barrel that comes with the Modulus 2.0, the gun that I used in my sniper scopes testing and review video, is overkill. You do not need a barrel this big on your SMG. It's just going to make it front heavy, it's going to make it clunky, and it's not going to feel like an SMG. It's going to feel like an AR with less firepower, which is not what you want. You want to use a small muzzle extension like this right here. This is just a generic Nerf brand muzzle extender. It adds like 3 extra inches to the barrel, which is a lot in terms of spiraling because of how tight the spiraling on the inside is. This is a very good addition to have any short muzzle because it's going to increase your accuracy, and it's not even going to feel like you have one on there. It's still the same weight. It's not like any more front heavy. A muzzle like this only weighs like a couple of ounces. Very lightweight, super easy to use. Now, this right here does look like a complete SMG, but there is one more and final attachment that I would recommend everybody have if they can get one, and that is a foregrip. If your gun calls for it, if it's convenient, I would recommend using a foregrip. The one I have is a foldable one, so you can hold it like this. You can make it a horizontal grip, or you can make it a vertical grip and hold it like so. Now, normally, this would go on the bottom of the gun, like so, and this is good. Hold it vertically. You know, it doesn't require very much strength from your arm because your arm is set pretty low and you can still aim pretty well. It's still pretty accurate. But on this particular gun, I like not to put it on the bottom. I like to put it on the side. Because what that does, the barrel is pretty much level with it. So wherever your left hand is, if you point directly out, that's where you're aiming. So that's very good. Your left hand being out there just helps you line up your shots better. Plus, it's a little bit less awkward than holding it all the way at the bottom. This just makes it feel like you're holding a real gun. It's super fun to use, and it's more mobile because when you go to sprint, your hand is already in the position it would be, or it's closer to the position it would be if you're going to start running. So, foregrip you can put it on the bottom or on the side, but I would recommend that you have one nonetheless, and for just carrying it, it can be folded and it barely feels like it's there. Doesn't really change the center of gravity of the gun at all. The gun itself is still much heavier than the attachments. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this Nerf SMG breakdown and tutorial. This is all I have for you tonight. Most of these SMG recommendations are just categories of things, but I hope that this video helped you decide which attachments you're going to buy based on what I said you should look for in a Nerf SMG build. I wish you luck in your next Nerf battle, and may your SMG mow through the competition. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anybody that you think needs to see it or anybody you will think will enjoy it. I will see you guys next time on Choco Bros Entertainment.